Hello, welcome to Art Bytes from the Marianna Kistler Beach Museum of Art. My name is Kim Richards. I'm an education assistant at the museum, and today I'd like to showcase a painting from our collection titled Triptych, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, by the artist Jane Booth. Booth paints these very large acrylic paintings in a style that could be described as abstract expressionism. She earned her Bachelor of Arts degree from Kansas State University studying ceramics. She spent 2 years working as a welder and a steel cutter to really work with those three-dimensional large objects. And she's also studied painting privately from Philomene Bennett. Booth says she paints what's around her. And I'm paraphrasing from her website. She says it's part of her job to study the world and absorb everything that she's seen and kind of take it all in. And what results is what feeds her paintings. And she does all of this studying of the world on her ranch in Spring Hill, Kansas, which is near Kansas City. She has these large views of prairie, of the wooded area, and this valley that's right near where she is. She also mentions that her painting is about space, and she needs a lot of space for her pieces. They're rather large. And she started painting in her living room in the colder months and then moving outside when things were warmer. And she noticed that whenever she moved outside, things changed, probably because she was working in that outside of environment and it was just right there. She also had to deal with the elements like wind and moisture in the air. So it was finally time to build a studio where she could have all of her canvases inside. But she built it with a lot of windows so that outside was still coming in and she could see it and feel it as she was painting. Her process has a couple of layers. She usually starts by measuring out a large piece of canvas and laying it on the floor. And there she pours out the paint and she pushes it and mixes it with her hands. And this is like a color staining process. And she's working on raw canvas. And it's also a very subconscious and intuitive time for her. She's just kind of putting the color on the as she's kind of led to do. The next layer, after that, after the canvas is ready to be hung on the wall, she begins to work some more with tools, maybe some more with her hands, brushes, sticks, crayons, spray paint, any number of objects. And the application of this layer becomes very thoughtful and emotive. When she's done with that layer, it's time to kind of take a step back and spend some time really looking at the piece. This could take several days. And once she's ready, she'll add that final layer. And these markings are usually a little bit more analytical and kind of try and add some balance to the piece. Let's take a moment to look at Triptych, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I mentioned that it was in a style of like abstract expressionism, which is usually a style that is not trying to represent anything. It's trying to get that intuitiveness, that color and emotion onto the canvas. It's often an emotion reflected either by the artist or the viewer. And so sometimes we don't really know how to look at abstract art. So I want to offer a couple of suggestions. Perhaps let's take a moment to look from left to right, kind of let your eye skim across the painting and think about what you might feel or what's kind of coming to mind for you as you're looking at it. Then start again on the left side of the canvas, but this time move a lot slower. Really spend some time looking at the markings. Perhaps look at that depth that Booth provides into this piece with her layers. You can kind of see the depth of layers. And as you move through each section, of the painting, left, middle, right. Now, what are you thinking or feeling? Is it a little bit different from the first time? Then I want to challenge you to take those feelings and put them down into words. Maybe you mention 3 words that come to mind as you look at this piece. And then I might suggest that you come back to this piece in another day or two and look at it again. Do you have the same 3 words, or have things changed? If you like to learn more about Jane Booth's process and see more of her work, I'd like to refer you to her website, janebooth.com. And I want to thank you for joining me on Art Bytes today.